Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Today's sabad is in Rag Todi, revealed by the fifth Nanak, Gur Arjan. It's a short, brief passage, 6 lines in all. But in those 6 lines, the Guru has given us a complete diagnosis and cure for our existential angst and the afflictions that stem from it. Todi is a morning rag. Its mood is one of yearning, a turning toward the beloved before the day's distractions begin. So hold that mood as we enter the Shabad. Todi mahalla panjama, har ke charan kamal man tyao. Let the mind dwell on the lotus feet of the Har. So when Gurbani says Har ke Charan Kamal, it is pointing to the softest, most receptive part of your consciousness. The place that is the ground, the source, the Har, that evergreen, verdant consciousness. That is what it is pointing to, and that is the place where we can actually bow. Hence, Har ke Charan Kamal man tyao. So bring your attention inward to that subtle, because it's not visible, sense of being, the core. And Charan Kamal, the analogy of feet and lotus. Feet, because feet is what one bows to in the Indic traditions. The disciple bows at the feet of the teacher. The surrendered heart finds its proper place there. So it's a posture of bowing, surrender, receptivity. It's an orientation. Lotus grows in muddy water and rises clean above it. How to be in the world without being soiled by it, that is what a lotus signifies, apart from the fact that it is a symbol of spiritual knowledge. So manatyao, what the Guru is telling us is that source, that lotus, that knowledge of the self is within the mind. Manatyao. The feet are not external. The lotus is not somewhere else. It's within the mind. The shrine is right here in the body. So, Har ke Charan Kamal man tyao. And then the next line of the Rahao. Kaad kuthar pit baat hanta, aukhad har ko nao Rahao. Kaad kuthar, draw out that axe that cuts the poisonous root of pit and bath. Pit and bath. We'll talk about pit and bath. Hanta aukhad har ko nao. Naam is the medicine. So here the Guru is stepping somewhat into Indic vocabulary around the Ayurvedic system. Pit and bath are Pitta and Vata. 2 of the 3 so-called doshas or tendencies or humors of the body, the third one being kapha. Gurmat uses this terminology to speak about mental maladies, where pitta or pit represents bile, the heat element, so it is pointing to an inflammatory mind. And vata is wind, the air element. When this is balanced, breath, lightness, life is how it is experienced. When it is imbalanced, it produces anxiety. That's what pitta does. When pitta is healthy, it is balanced, digestion is balanced, intelligence, the warmth of being alive. But when it is imbalanced, it produces anger. So that's the idea. These are the toxic tendencies within the mind. And so the Guru is saying, take to the axe, fell them in the name of Har. Use the wisdom of Har, in other words, as an axe to fell them. It's not willpower. You have to make a decisive cut completely. That's what the Rahav is telling us. Bow to that knowledge of the self that is within. Har ke Charan Kamal. And then the Guru moves on, using again the terminology of medicine. Tine taap nivaran hara dukh hanta sukh ras. The remover of three afflictions, the destroyer of suffering, the treasury of joy. So tine taap, the three afflictions. Again, in the Indian traditions, there is reference to three types of afflictions. The first one being adhyatmak, within. Afflictions that arise from within the body and the mind. This could be a physical illness. It could be inner suffering that you produce through anxiety and depression. No one is doing it to you. Basically, you're doing it to yourself. And then there are afflictions that are called adibhautik. Other people are doing it to you. Workplace, family, social wounds, that sort of stuff. And then there are natural calamities, adidevika, like the pandemic, COVID, or a car accident, that sort of things. And Gurbani uses different terms as well, upadhi, vyadhi, ad. These are all the same categories. So the Guru is saying, Nivaran hara, tine taap, nivaran hara, that har that was pointed to as Charan Kamal is the cooler. It cools these heats at their root. It is the dukh-hanta, the one that will actually fell these illnesses. It's not that you won't fall ill or that life will just have no issues coming to it. Life will still have a weather. But the burning quality of suffering, the way it scorches the inner being, is removed by Naam. And then what happens? This is the second line of the second verse. Taako bigan na ko lage, jaki prab age ardas. To that person, no obstacle can stick, who is submitted to the prab. No obstacle afflicts the one, ardas means who is in submission. So this is another key word here, bigan. It comes from the Sanskrit vigana, which means obstacle, hindrance. So it has a certain weight within the Indian tradition. And you see, you have to remember that the Gurus have taken existing terminology and either redefined it, reframed it, or repurposed it. And that is what they are doing here. So there are outer obstacles that happen, relationships ending, a door closing on you, a diagnosis you didn't expect. Then there are inner obstacles, doubt, fear, procrastination, distraction. These are all inner. And then there is the insidious spiritual type of obstacle, the dryness in your meditation, the doubt of your own practice. Is this working for me? But beyond all of that, the deepest bigan obstacle is the idea that I am the doer. How may? And what is the prescription? It is just as precise. Jaake prab aage ardas. Offering of this supplication, offering oneself up to that self, laying oneself out. In the concluding stanza, Sant Prasad Bad Narayan Karan Karan Prabh Ek. Bad Narayan. Narayan is another term for Prabh. Narayan means the Lord of humans. Nar is man, mankind. Sant Prasad Bad Narayan. By the grace of Narayan, through Sant, you find release from this heat. Karan Karan Prabh Ek. All of this, the Sant, the Bad, Narayan, the Prabh, are really the same texture. Narayan is the divine physician. So, Prasad, from the word Sant, or tranquil, or the truth, to be tranquil, to be appeased, is something that comes through the Guru. Prasad flows through it. It's grace. It's the gift that is given, the receiving. So the grace of the Guru is what brings that about. And Narayan being the doctor, the physician is the divine one. So if your physical doctor sees the body, and the therapist sees the mind, and the priest ministers to your soul, none of them sees the whole picture. It is Narayan who sees the whole picture. All of the symptoms, the pitta, the vata, the three taps at the beginning, and points to that single root, the root of forgetting who you truly are. And the medicine that is given is one. It is Nam, wisdom. It actually reaches all of these three taps. Sant Prasad, the doctor doesn't charge. It is grace. It is a gift. And the healing is alchemical, not symptomatic. The symptoms are removed. And then, in closing, Bal Buddha Puran Sukhadatta Nanak Har Har take, childlike understanding, perfect bliss. That is the innocence that you are given by the doctor. So the idea is, when the body is unwell, Nam. When the mind is troubled, Nam. When the other beings trouble you, Nam. When obstacles arise, Nam and Ardas. So Har Har take. Anchor should be the Har. That is where this Shabad began with Har ke Charan Kamal man tyao, and then Bal Buddha Puran Sukhadatta Nanak Har Har take. So that enlightened intellect is what the Charan Kamal is. You see the connection here. That is where we have to go. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.